Hello and welcome back to the Please Suck Less podcast. So some of the things that I'm going to say today might rub some people the wrong way. I know I've said that before. Some people will get it. Maybe some of the newer firefighters out there won't understand. But there's always this talk in the fire service about culture. And when we don't like something, we have to change the culture. And to an extent, I will agree if the culture is toxic or the culture is not having people doing the job that firefighters and EMTs and paramedics are supposed to do. If they are not meeting that mark, then yeah, there's some things that have to be changed. But I'm going to dig a little bit deeper, a little bit sideways. When it comes to a shift, career or volunteer, one person cannot define what the culture is. And what I mean by that is when you have somebody on the shift that doesn't like something and they complain about something that's unreasonable, then the rest of the shift does not have an obligation to conform. Those of us that have been in the fire service for a long time understand that the fire service has their idiosyncrasies and things are done a certain way. Harassment, whether it be sexual or racial, not letting somebody do something based on their religion or their sex or whatever, that is totally unacceptable, and we don't do that. But what I'm talking about is there are people out there that feel that the world revolves around them. Some of you all call them Karens or whatever. But when you have one person on the shift or on your duty crew or whatever that doesn't like something and they want everybody to conform to the way they think, that's horseshit. And we don't do that. There has to be an understanding by the people that are joining the ranks, whether it's career or volunteer. The fire service is not a 40-hour-a-week behind the desk white collar job. Yes, I do know that there are senior staff people that push paper and things like that. I get that. But overall, on the operational side, it's not a white collar job that way. We bring in all walks of life. We welcome all walks of life, all sexes, all religions, whatever you do, providing you're not breaking the law. But when you have somebody that comes in that doesn't like something, and I'll give you an example. When I was a captain years ago, I actually had someone that came to my shift just off probation. This particular person didn't like cussing in the firehouse. I'll pause here for you guys to take a deep breath, let it out, roll your eyes. It's kind of the way I felt being a captain. The person and I sat in the office and we talked. They just didn't feel that cussing shouldn't be in the firehouse. Now, I agree when we're on the fire ground and when we're out in the general public, you have to have a little bit of decorum. You have to be a little civilized. When we're in the station life is a lot different than it is in, like I said, the office earlier. We don't have that office mentality. So firefighters use colorful language. It happens. So I tried to meet this person halfway. I explained to them that there is cussing in the fire service and that it's not going to stop. You can put a policy in place. It's not going to make it stop. I told them that they're going to need to get thicker skin. But what I did do is tell my people, the rest of the people on the shift, let's try and curb it a little bit when we're around this particular individual, not treat him any different, but try to watch what we say. Tried to meet him halfway. Never heard anything else after that. But that got me thinking that, one person cannot dictate how things are in the firehouse because they don't like something or because they feel something should be a certain way. Everybody else needs to conform to them. We see that in politics right now. I'm not going to get into the politics. It's just like if you have somebody that comes to your shift and they're a diehard vegetarian, vegan, whatever, they don't eat anything that has to do with animals or anything like that. And they expect everybody on the shift to conform that they won't eat meat while they're in the firehouse. Well, that's not fucking happening. So that person at that point, that one person needs to make a decision about what they want to do with their career. And I've said this 1,000 times that you need to do what's good for the organization as opposed to the individual. The one individual, the world does not revolve around that one individual. So these are things that you need to think about. You will have these people come in there, the Karens or whatever you want to call them, that want to change everything so it's how they see it should be. Those people ultimately end up being toxic. They're going to be a drain on the system. So you really need to pay attention to the people that you're bringing into the ranks. When it comes to the career side, there's not much we can do about it. Now, when I was a career officer, When I was at the training academy teaching recruits, myself and another fellow captain had about an hour with the new recruits, and we explained to them what station life was. And we told them that colorful language, dark humor is rampant in the fire service. You're not going to get rid of that. That's how we cope, is going to happen. So they're going to hear things that are way out in left field that they wouldn't have expected to hear from people, the average everyday people. I can tell you right now, us firefighters, we're not average everyday people. We are a different breed. We are in this job because it is a calling. So we tried to play that out. As far as I know, we never really had any issues after that. But it can happen. So be prepared about how you're going to deal with it. I am not going to change the entire fire service because somebody doesn't like something that's unreasonable for them to want everybody else to change. All right, moving on from that. I got a couple of things written down that when we get back to our hiring practices or our volunteering practices, when you're bringing members in, we need to get back to what it used to be back in the day. And I'm not saying all white men or anything like that. What I'm saying is the people that we're bringing into our organizations need to be strong mentally and physically. I don't care if you're male and female. You have to be somewhat physically fit. You have to be in shape. And yes, I know round is a shape, but that's not what we're looking for. You have to be able to do this job. And we have to really start taking a hard look at the people that we're bringing in, and are they going to help on the fire ground, or are they going to be a liability? So we need to get back to making sure that we're bringing the people in that can do the job. Yes, I know volunteers down. Yes, we shouldn't be picky, but I'm saying, yes, we should be picky. We want to make sure that we got the best people doing this job, somebody that's not going to be a drain on the system, somebody that's not going to be constantly getting hurt and having to file insurance claims and things like that. On the career side, if you're going through a career academy, they work you hard, PT, things like that. That PT is designed to get you in shape, but it's also designed to weed out people that are weak. We can't have liabilities riding the fire apparatus, plain and simple. So we need to get back to making sure that we are finding the people that are perfect for this job, that want to do this job. I know recruitment is down, but we should not sacrifice our fire service for numbers. That's horseshit, and you're just going to ultimately get somebody hurt. And then the last thing that I'm going to say is going to tie into what I talked about a little bit earlier in the beginning of this, is that as a leader of your organization, as somebody who's an officer, whatever, we will not tolerate any type of harassment. We will not tolerate any type of racial bullshit. We will not tolerate any type of misogyny or any type of sexist remarks, male or female. At the end of the day, I personally, I don't care what you are. I don't care if you're gay or straight. I don't care if you're black or white. I don't care if you're male or female, as long as you can do the job. What you do on your time is your business, providing that you're not breaking the law. So we need to make sure that we're not doing that. But that's where it stops. We are rough around the edges. We are blue collar workers. We use dark humor as a coping mechanism. We use dark humor around each other, around the kitchen table, so we can cope with the things that we see. We cuss in the firehouse because that's how it is. I cuss in the firehouse. I cuss at work. When I come home, I'm able to turn it off for the most part. But that's the way the fire service is. So we need to get back to the fire service as what it used to be when it came to hiring people, male or female, strong-minded, physically strong, capable of doing the job, thick skin, being able to get along, and at the end of the day, be able to crawl down a smoky hallway and rely on your fellow firefighter, male or female, when the shit is on. Thanks for listening. Remember, do better, suck less.